Hello, Baby Bean, and everybody on Baby Bean Story Time. My name is Grandma Cookie, and today we are reading in the Beginner's Bible, the Timeless Children's Stories. We are on page 156, Hannah's Prayer, 1 Samuel 1 1 through 20. I don't know how to say that correctly. There are chapters and verses. Hannah's prayer. Hannah loved God. She wanted to have a baby, but she wasn't able to have any children. Hannah and her husband went to the tabernacle. She prayed to God, "If you will give me a baby boy, I will see that he serves you all his life." Eli was a priest. He saw Hannah praying. She explained, "I am crying out to the Lord because I want him to answer my prayer." Eli gently told her, "Go in peace, and may God give you what you ask for." Sure enough, Hannah and her husband had a baby boy. They thanked God for their new son. They named him Samuel. A voice in the night. First Samuel, First Samuel chapter 3. When Samuel was a little boy, Hannah brought him to live at the tabernacle. She had promised God that Samuel would serve him all his life. The priest Eli would now take care of Samuel. He would teach Samuel about God. One night while Samuel was sleeping, he heard a voice say, "Samuel." He ran to Eli and said, "Here I am." But Eli said, "I did not call you." Then Samuel went back to bed. Samuel heard a voice call his name 2 more times. Each time, Samuel ran to Eli. Finally, Eli told Samuel, "I think God is speaking to you. Next time, say, 'Yes, Lord, I am listening.'" Then Samuel went back to bed. "Samuel, Samuel," the voice said again. This time, Samuel answered, "Yes, Lord, I am listening." From that moment on, Samuel gave messages to God's people. He was a special prophet of God. Israel's first king, 1 Samuel, verse 8 through 10. When Samuel was an old man, God's people said, "We want a king to rule over us." Samuel asked God for help. God told Samuel to warn the people about all the trouble a king could bring. A king would make the young men join his army, and the people would have to give the best things they owned to support the king. Samuel warned the people, but they still would not listen. Then God told Samuel to give them a king. God led Samuel to a man named Saul. Samuel poured oil on Saul's head. This was a sign that Saul was God's choice for their new king. Saul hid because he was shy. The people found him. Then Samuel said, "Here is your king." Everyone cheered and shouted, "Long live the king." A good heart. Saul was a king for about 20 years. Then he began to disobey God. God was sorry he made Saul the king. Samuel was sad about it too. God sent Samuel to a man named Jesse to find a new king. When Samuel met Jesse, he said, "I would like to meet your sons." There's a flower in my book. Look. I'm not going to remove it because it dried in there and I don't want it to fall apart and break. I wonder where that came from. that's really cool. That was a nice surprise. When Samuel saw them, he thought, "These are strong-looking men." God said, "I do not look at the outside of a person. I look at the inside of a person. I look at the heart." Samuel asked Jesse, "Do you have another son?" Jesse said, "Yes. His name is David. He is out in the field with the sheep." Samuel asked to see him. As soon as, let's show you those pictures, right? As soon as David arrived, God told Samuel, "He is the one. I want to be the next king." Samuel anointed David. He poured oil on David's head, and David was filled with God's powers. We'll start this chapter next week. So something interesting in this book. It was on this page. I look at the heart. God knows your heart. So some people may think you may be an evil person and they may not like you and they don't know you. Only God knows you and knows your heart. And that was something that my husband told me when we got together. His dad told him that when he was a young kid, because sometimes some of the stories are a little scary and you don't understand them. And so he went to his dad and he was asking questions and stuff, and his dad said that God knows your heart. So that stuck with him for all of his years, and that stuck with me too. And that's just interesting that I read that in this book today. Let's say our little prayer before we leave today, and I will see you guys next week. Amen.